just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update. Florida heads to number 4 Arkansas this weekend. The Gators riding high off the shutout of FSU. Coverage starts at 6:55 tonight on 1010XL AM. And in the NBA, Paolo Banchero dropped 30 as the Magic snapped a 6-game skid, edging Sacramento to stay in the East playoff chase. At your 1010XL local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 85 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time in 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Some weeks are longer than others, and some Fridays are just better than others. And this weather outside and the fact that we made it to Friday, whew, thank goodness it's Friday.
Yeah, it was one of the days, like, I left to go grab lunch, and when I walked out, I just stood there for a minute because I was like, the sunshine just feels so nice right now. And it's not too hot. It just feels that perfect warmth. Not too humid or anything yet. This is the time of year, once it gets to this, where it's just like you want to be outside as much as possible.
At least for today.
Yeah, until this weekend when it's back to 65.
Until you're bringing extra shirts with you because you sweat through the first one, right? But no, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I sat in my car after lunch for about 15 minutes, opened up the sunroof and played some tunes and just hung out and enjoyed that sunshine. But going to be a great weekend. And, you know, look, Fridays are always fun. I mean, come on, you're right there. The weekend's right here. And
well, it was a long week for us Gator fans. I guess I'll put it that way. Other than, yes, Tuesday night in the baseball game. Dreading watching last night and things like that.
Yeah, then having to see that, them win last night.
Yeah, Iowa win again. Like, it's like, I just want to be done with college basketball, please. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good for them. I mean, not, obviously Gator fans don't want to hear that, but they might, I guess they're this year's Cinderella at a 9 seed.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't feel like a Cinderella, but I guess you got to call them that. No one thought they were going to be
They're
this
the
far.
Dreamers. That's what they are. The dreamers.
The dreamers.
It is.
As I'm rolling my eyes.
It is interesting, like how different people will approach that type of thing. Because some people, like, you want them to lose because you're like, oh, they beat us, so, screw them. You want them to lose. And some people are like, well, no, because then that means if the deeper they go, the more you're like, well, we lost to a team that went deep and, maybe is better than people thought they were. So people look at it different ways, but I totally get just being like, no, I don't want you to win anything. You don't.
I want you off my television for the rest of March Madness. But in fact, that is not going to happen as Iowa advance. Survive.
How about Arizona?
Yeah, they're just rolling.
I could have told y'all, obviously, like way back when in November when Florida played them, like this is going to be a Final Four.
Do you have them winning?
I do not. I don't.
2?
Mm-mm.
No,
I didn't because I had a feeling a lot of people would have them, so I went different just to be that. Like, I have Duke, Iowa State in my final.
Oh, okay, nice.
And we could certainly see that as well.
Yeah, that's still alive, no doubt about that. The part of the bracket with UF, mine's shattered. I mean, forget about it.
Pretty much everybody's is, honestly. Last night when I was marking, I'm like, nobody's. I think everybody had either Florida or Houston. And so both of them out now. There might have been one other random one that also got knocked out at some point. But I was looking, I'm like, if Duke ends up losing to St. John's, from our work brackets, there's nobody has anybody left from the left side of the bracket. Everybody had Duke, Houston,
or Florida.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had UConn. So
Yeah, so we have 4 games tonight. St. John's versus Duke, Alabama versus Michigan, Michigan State versus UConn, and Tennessee versus Iowa State. And then tomorrow in the Elite Eight, Iowa versus Illinois and Purdue versus Arizona. I feel like Arizona just breezes through that one, certainly, but we shall see. All right, I feel like I've been very positive John Summerall to this point in time since he was hired, and a lot of the retaining of guys, the players that Billy Napier did recruit that were really good. And just his personality, the way he is on the field that we've seen off the field and things like that. But today he has a coaches clinic down in Gainesville, and he invited some illustrious other coaches. Yeah. One of those guys being Tom Coughlin, great move. Yep. One of those guys being John Gruden, all right. Yep. And one of those guys being Urban Meyer. What we also thought Liam Cohn was. I
saw a picture of them.
You
together.
did.
Yeah,
okay,
so
good.
He
so
is
Liam
there.
Cohn is there.
Yeah.
Excellent. But why do you have to bring Urban Meyer around? I understand what he did at Florida. Florida grad.
That's why.
Come on, man.
No, I'm with you.
He's sleazy. crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he also won a couple titles.
Yeah.
He won 2 at Florida and he won at Ohio State.
At Ohio
And if he
State,
was
right.
still coaching in college, maybe he would have had another one. But obviously he got out and came to the Jags, and we all know how well that went.
Yeah, and look, let's be honest. When he was winning them, how many people really cared how he was winning them? It wasn't until later. Like, then you're like, eh. But during it, and you heard little things here and there, what was going on. You just were like, so what? They're winning. I mean, that's the cost of doing business to a certain degree, I guess. And why he's there, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I know Gruden's there for Barstool, I would imagine,
Yes,
right?
he
That's part of that. I don't know if Urban's got some, connection in that regard.
He still does
almost
the Fox game day broadcast.
Right. He does that, right? Yeah. But whatever. It's cool that Summerall brought all the other coaches too. Like Liam's there, Coach Tom's there, and whatnot. So he's reaching out, doing the right things. Trying to. And look, and again, does he have to include Urban? No, but at the same time, he's won a couple. I'm surprised Spurrier went there. You know what I mean?
And he probably is somewhere around.
Yeah, he
just
might
not
be there
on the field.
Yeah.
Or in that picture at that particular time that we're referring to.
Yeah, I mean, I think because of what Urban did at Florida, you kind of you're like, close your eyes to some other things because of that connection. But it is interesting because you say, everyone kind of knew what was going on at the time of Florida, and you were just like, whatever, you're winning, so it doesn't matter. But also since then, so much more has happened when it comes to Ohio State and his assistant there that he was covering up for. And then the whole thing in Jacksonville, obviously, as a whole, from the moment he was about to hire Chris Doyle to the moment he got fired, there's a lot of that. So maybe it's just kind of like close your eyes at anything that happened in Jacksonville and let's look at what he did for Florida. But it is interesting because I do think there's other coaches. We talk about when you're coaching, you want to be a good coach on the field, but you're also like a representative of the men a lot of times. And so it's interesting that I feel like there's probably another choice you could have brought that didn't, maybe not so recent. If that happened 10 years ago, I feel like maybe it'd be a little different, but it's only a few years since all of that went down here.
Kickers, watch out when Urban's around.
I wonder if he even factored in the Jag
Any
stuff.
of that.
That's
That's what I'm like, maybe it's just whatever.
Just what he did at Florida. It seems like Summerall's got a little TC in him.
Okay.
He's just a kind of no nonsense type guy, being fair and whatnot, but just kind of, there's no gray area. It's black or white. Like either do it or you don't do it. And I feel like he's got that kind of in him, so I could see him bringing TC. And I mean, TC doesn't have anything to do with Florida, but he's one of the better coaches. And those retired coaches consult a lot too. Different head coaches will reach out, and hire them as consultants and just run things by them, watch tape. Would you look at this guy for me? Tell me what you think. Evaluate this. Just to have other ideas come in.
And look, there's one guy that won 2 Super Bowls, a guy that won 1 Super Bowl, a guy that won 3 national championships, and then Liam Cohen, obviously, probably one of I would put him in the young offensive minds.
Well, and I mean, look, NFL Coach of the Year candidate, so that's fitting as well. So yeah, it's good. It's a good thing. It's like bringing former players back. That's good for your good players that are good, positive influences on your young guys. Michael Irvin screaming on the sidelines a little much for me, but whatever. He's one of the greatest of all time out of the year.
Yeah, they have Jason Taylor as a coach.
That.
Miami does.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if the players there right now, because the players, most of them were only like 5 years old when Florida won and when Urban was there. So I wonder if you even had a conversation if they more so would be like, remember Ohio State Urban or even Jags Urban before they would Florida, just because of the time frame of that. They were 3, 4, 5 years old, a lot of them, when he was leaving.
Florida's most recent national championship was 2008. That was 18 years ago.
Yeah. That's what
but when they hear 3 titles, they're like, whoa. That's like you get cred right away.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did it. I don't care.
The connection of Tim Tebow. I don't care how young you are. I still think you know who Tim Tebow
as a college
is.
player.
Heisman Trophy, all that.
And especially in this area, right? Like there's other areas where if you're in California, you probably are well aware of Matt Leinart, even if you're younger.
Yeah.
Of course, the USC. He was a badass QB back in the day.
I was obsessed with him back in the day. And I was in Hawaii when USC was playing Hawaii.
Okay.
This would have been 2005. And I was bound and determined
you were
meet
going to find him
somehow, some way, but I never did. But it would have been fun. Sorry, Brian. All right. So
It would have been fun.
I want to talk about
Thanks,
some Major League Baseball today, too. We have Robert Flores coming up at 2:35 to join us and talk all things Major League Baseball. But tailored. Both the Cubs and the Rays lost yesterday, so it wasn't a great opening day.
It wasn't. I'm not one of the people that panic yet. I know Dan and Jeff already bury their teams. They lose one game. I'm like, it's okay, guys, we're fine. You don't want to lose 10-4. That's not an ideal number too. It's very lopsided. There was a lot of lopsided ones. There was a couple like 8-2. The Brewers I think ended up winning like 15-2 or something like that against the White Sox. Cubs lost 10-4. So there was some lopsided games yesterday. Yeah. It'll be interesting, and I want to talk to Robert Flores. I want to ask him about his thoughts when it comes to the World Baseball Classic, because several of the guys that played in that and played like pivotal roles struggled yesterday, including obviously Paul Skeens. And so I wonder if anybody's thinking about that. Like, kind of everyone made fun of Skubal for not wanting to finish it out, and then now they're like, oh, maybe he was right about some things when it comes to how close that was to them having to make their debut in the major, in the regular season. And so I do want to talk to him about that. But it's still, baseball season's fun. It's long. You have a lot of games to look forward to. The wind was
a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah,
that's right.
The wind was kicking at Wrigley yesterday. It was like almost 40-mile-per-hour winds coming in from left field. I saw one of the videos, because they can do all the analytics to measure everything now. One of the home runs that, should have been home run that Ian Happ hit, the wind blew it in 113 feet. They measured it. It was the way they do velocity and how it comes off the bat and the angle. It was headed out of the park and ended up not even hitting the warning track. That's how windy it was yesterday in Chicago.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive.
That's crazy.
Impressive that the Nats, did they hit
So they
multiple home
were,
runs?
but the wind was coming in left and like blowing out right, and all of theirs kept going out and just like sailing out of right field. So because they had a couple out, and I'm like, why aren't ours doing that? I know. Go right. Go
Open
right.
your stance.
I'm sure it
Close your
matters
stance.
if you're a left or right-handed hitter, and then also, if you're hitting oppo. Go ahead.
Real quick. So your group, I saw the video in the group of the Cubs group that you were. So how many different teams do you think they're in Jacksonville? Like, are there other baseball they get together? I know there's football. Like there's
there's a lot
Packers,
of different. I
Steelers.
know bars around town that are Bills and Steelers and Packers and all different types of ones.
But you had a lot of people there.
Yeah,
Like,
there was about 30 of us yesterday, and that's a Thursday at 2 p.m.
Right.
So imagine if it was a Saturday, there probably would have been like 50, 60 of us. I don't know. I've never seen another baseball group, honestly. And this one started back in, it was like 2015, I think, the year that the Cubs made the wild card for the first time in a long time. Obviously, the year before they won the World Series. It was like a smaller group, and from there, it was a good season, so it just kind of like grew through that. And then obviously 2016 World Series season, it was great. There would be over 100 people packing out places to watch those games that year. But I've never seen another baseball one, so I'm not totally sure.
This is where the text line comes in handy.
Yeah, if anybody knows any other baseball groups, because we have there's baseball fans from all different
Braves group, maybe
and Braves, because Braves are so
Braves I would think a little bit more because that's a little farther away, like 6 hours. But the Rays, I feel like if you're a diehard Rays fan, it's
you're
only
going
4
down
hours
to
You're
away.
just going down there.
But hit us up on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Let us know. The Rays, by the way, had 17 hits yesterday, so you get excited about that. The problem is, while the Rays put up 6 runs in the top of the 6th, the Cardinals hit 8 in the bottom of the 6th.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So there you go. We will talk, of course, like I said, more baseball with Robert Flores. And also I have a list of the local players, guys with local ties that were on the opening day rosters. So we'll talk some more baseball, football as well. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a happy Friday, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All day, every day, year after year. You got a mission, 1010XL.
In the game of vehicle performance and reliability, Atlantic Infiniti is always the top pick. This is Hayes Carlyon. Did you know that every certified pre-owned Infiniti is inspected, factory-backed, with a limited warranty, and gets the same championship-level service as a brand-new Infiniti? Every mile will feel like first class. Check out their full certified inventory now at AtlanticInfiniti.com or visit Atlantic Infiniti off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Helmets and Heels Friday
Is brightened by Bowden Iron Associates.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Big personalities, bold opinions. Lunch just got louder. Josie, Matt, and Leon are XL Prime Time from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Any questions? Yeah, when's lunch?
Noon to 2 on 1010XL.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street-legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit dynamicdrivesdesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
What are the odds of filling out a perfect March Madness bracket?
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The odds of a perfect NCAA men's basketball bracket are astronomically low. About 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
Feel the rush of lighting up something truly exceptional. This Saturday, March 28th from 1 to 4 p.m., step into the ultimate cigar experience at Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road. Join us for an exclusive Aganorsa Leaf Cigar event featuring incredible Aganorsa Leaf cigar deals, great food, and exciting prizes. Bring your friends, relax, and enjoy an unforgettable afternoon. Because at Tobacco Cove, it's more than a cigar store. It's an experience.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes, oil change, AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
If you could be just any something, you could be my savior. Promise for my
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you as we jam out on a Friday afternoon. All right, thanks to Justin Barney for rounding up the local players that are on Major League Baseball opening day rosters. Taylor, I'll start with Jacob Young.
Yeah, no, boo.
Vidra in Florida.
He was one of the ones that hit a home run into right field yesterday, actually. And so his name popped up, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I forgot he went to Florida, honestly. I just remember him being from Ponte Vedra. And I was like, I'm pretty sure he's from Jacksonville. And one of the guys was like, oh, yeah, he went to PV in Florida. And I was like, oh.
Thanks a lot.
I'll root for you at other times, Jacob, but not against the
And
Cubs.
then Javi Baez, of course, out of Arlington Country Day, now plays
Love me
for the
some Javi.
Tigers. And they're really good this year.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah. There was a young kid that yesterday made his MLB debut, went 4 for 5 in his MLB. I'm trying to remember the kid's name. Oh, shoot, what was his name? I can't remember. But I was like, what a debut to cut. Like, that's hard to do if you've been playing for a while in the majors to go 4 for 5. And he came out and was just immediately crushing it. So I'll think of his name in a second. But
was it Kevin McGonigal?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
McGonigal. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. And apparently that obviously is very rare. As the headline says, very rare. I'm like, well, yeah, we know it's very rare, obviously. So yeah, that's super cool. It plays for the Padres.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking it was the Tigers, the Padres. Yeah.
Yeah. And then other guys, Brian Baker, who went to UNF, he plays for the Rays. He's a pitcher. Hunter Barco went to Bulls, and then he plays for the Pirates. The Pirates yesterday, I felt so bad for Frank.
Yeah.
Skeens just did not have a good outing. We kind of talked about it briefly, Tom.
Yeah.
And the Mets went on to win that one.
No, Cruz had a bad day. He had two bad. Technically, I think they should have been errors. They didn't mark him for errors, but you can't. Those are like just basic
defensive plays.
Yeah, you've got to do that when you're that center fielder. And he's a good center fielder. Last year, he was one of the ones that people started talking about a ton late. And yeah, bad errors. Skeens was kind of frustrated with that because that was 2 outs right there, and that's when like the scoring started happening right after those. So not ideal.
Not ideal at all. Kerry Carpenter is a pitcher out of St. John's River Community College. He plays also for the Tigers. Austin Hayes of JU plays for the White Sox. Justin Lawrence, no relation to Trevor. He went to First Coast and JU. He plays for the Pirates also. Nathaniel Lowe, he went to St. John's River. It says SC, so it's not community college, it's state college. I'm just so used to like FSCJ and CC and all that stuff. Lowe plays for the Reds. Austin Martin is an outfielder. He went to Trinity Christian. He plays for the Twins. Austin Slater, who went to Bulls, he plays for the Marlins. Miles Straw is also an outfielder. He went to St. John's. He plays for the Blue Jays, and Brett Wisely went to Sandalwood. And I guess when Justin originally did the list, he was on the Braves, and then they designated him for assignment, so he wasn't technically on the opening day roster. So boo you, Braves. Come on, Brett Wisely, make that roster.
Wow, I didn't know that much talent was in the big leagues, man.
Yeah, so that's not obviously
awesome.
all local high schools necessarily, because guys have come from other high schools and then gone to either UNF or JU or St. John's State College. But yeah, this area is super fertile for baseball. And just a reminder, by the way, JU plays host to UNF this weekend for a 3-game series for the River City Rumble. The Frangie Show will be there from 4 to 6 today. You know, just like in men's basketball, women's basketball, these teams know each other quite well. And it is always a heated rivalry. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that will be a lot of fun. And obviously the Shrimp start off tonight, opening night for the Shrimp also. So that'll be fun. They'll have their ceremony, their ring ceremony, which is always a good time.
And that street party that I
the street party before
on Georgia Street. And you're going?
Yes, I will be there. I'm very excited. So as soon as we're done with the show, I need to like finish some things and go get ready to head out.
Taylor's not going to finish the show. In fact,
I'll see you guys later.
Go.
She's going to be at that street party very early.
Time you.
You got it right. All right, let's get into some football talk. I saw this tweet from Warren Sharp, or post, whatever these days, and it had the list of all NFL teams with how many offensive snaps they had with a lead last season. So, of course, as I scroll down, I figured the Jags were amongst this. And we kind of talked about this the other day with sacks, right? I was questioning, like, why couldn't they get more sacks when they had a lead
so much?
Right. Yeah, so often. Well, so you have to scroll way down to the bottom. So the team with the most offensive snaps with a lead was the New England Patriots with 578. And then you have the Seahawks, 516. What stands out about those two teams?
Yeah, they were in the Super Bowl.
They sure were, with the Seahawks obviously winning. The very next team, so the third most offensive snaps with a lead in 2025, your Jacksonville Jaguars with 512. And then the Texans right behind them, and then the Rams right behind them, and then the Eagles, and then the 49ers, and then the Chargers, and the Broncos. Those are all teams that are really good. But the third most snaps, like I said, why didn't they get more sacks? You know the other team has to pass the ball.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not that surprising that they're that high. You know what I mean?
With the lead.
Yeah, with the lead, because they gave up a lot of leads. Even in their victories, they gave up some leads, and that's what we're harping on the defense. Yeah, great against the run, great against takeaways, but not very good at getting to the quarterback. Very low in sack numbers. Even just take that out, you saw that they would give up leads. Trevor and the offense would lead them back, and then the defense would let them back in. It wasn't constant, but it was enough to where you're like, oh, man, we got to better this. And how do you better it? You better it by disrupting that offense and disrupting that QB. They're doing good against the run, so you'd expect that to continue. But yeah, no, that doesn't surprise. I was surprised they're that high, I should say, but I thought they'd be top 10 because just watching them last year and going back and looking at it, you're just like, yeah, man, you're not rewarded. That's not complimentary football, right? And that's what we always talk about. Like your offense goes down and scores. Your job as a defense is to shut that other offense down, at least hold them to 3 points, depending on where they get the ball to start. At the end of the day, that's the least amount. Other than that, you got to give that ball back to your offense. That's how you reward each other. You know what I mean? And we didn't do enough of that last year.
Yeah, and I think there's a correlation, obviously, to how many games these teams have won. In the top 13, the only team that didn't win more than that didn't have double-digit wins was the Colts. And I think, honestly, that was probably that first. Yeah, they were close. And that first 8 weeks of football, we talked about they didn't punt, so you're having the ball a lot. You saw things go the other way. So I'm sure if you broke down the Colts first half compared to last half, it would probably be significantly different. Yeah, and that got them into that 4-10.
Except for the Achilles.
Yeah. But everybody else in that, when it comes to it's Bears, Bills, Packers, Broncos, Chargers, Niners, Eagles, Rams, Texans, Jags, Seahawks, Patriots, every single one of those teams won 10 or more games. So you score points and you keep a lead and you have the chance. And there's always the outliers. I remember the few seasons ago with the Vikings. They were one of those. They had like 11 one-score games and they won all of them or something like that. That doesn't usually happen. Usually you have more of like a 500 record if you're having that many one-score games. But this kind of shows that we live in this world now where if you get a lead, you keep a lead, and if you're able to like continue scoring, some of these teams have really good defenses, others do not. In the 13 teams that I just listed. And so it's not even like you have to have a defense that, can shut down everybody like the Seahawks did. The Texans had that, and the Texans offense wasn't so good. So they're one of the outliers in that, where it didn't feel like they were scoring a ton, but they didn't have to because their defense held the opposing teams to so little points. So there's different ways to do it, but I think the main part, these teams scored a lot of points, and that kind of kept them in that range.
Yeah, and then again, like when you score, you gotta the defenses. You can't live by that sword and think that you're going to come away where we'll just have a shootout every week, and we'll just outscore and we'll let whatever happens, with our defense. But even take the wild card game. Look, even when your offense sputters, like the 4th and 2, you didn't get it. Well, that next drive was like an 8-9 play drive for a touchdown, 92 yards. You're like, just because they missed the kick doesn't mean you got to no, you got to go make them punt. Make them punt. Maybe they get a first down. Maybe they get across the midfield, but you got to shut them down. That's your whole job. And, that happened multiple times in that game. So that
bothers the former linebacker.
Well, it does because, and look, and some people, and I'm not defending Trevor, but some people are like, it was Trevor's fault. Like, some of it was, but he also brought them back multiple times to take the lead, and then our defense didn't hold up. So I can't just say it's 16. I'm saying, like, come on, D, like, get off the field. Get to Allen. Shut him down. Don't let him 80%. It does. I don't care what kind of game plan it was. It was 80% completion at an 8-yard clip. That's down the field in my book. Down the field. You know what I mean?
Get the quarterback down.
Get him
that's
down.
what I'm going to keep screaming from the rafters, and that's why we've talked about it ad nauseum. They need to add more guys that can get to the quarterback, whether that's another defensive tackle, that's what they can do, or whether it's another edge rusher. As I look through this list, too, of the best as far as the offensive snaps with the lead last season in the NFL, I see a lot of teams with really good offensive minds.
Yeah.
Obviously, including the Jaguars and Liam Cohen. But when you have the likes of Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan in that category, Josh McDaniels for sure. Those are guys that I feel like, other than the Eagles maybe, who fired their offensive coordinator, most of the teams have really good, and not just young, but really good offensive minds. By the way, quick correction, Kevin McGonigal plays for the Tigers.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Right.
The Tigers were playing the Padres.
Okay.
I quickly looked and just saw San Diego, but that's where the story was. The Tigers were playing in San Diego.
I could have sworn he was a Detroit Tiger. But yeah, and then like on the flip side too, you look at the bottom of that list and you're probably not surprised at who sits there, other than one, but it's the Jets, the Saints, the Raiders, the Titans, the Panthers, who made the postseason. Granted, I do think for them it was almost reverse of the Colts, where they had a slower start and then their offense started playing better and their defense played well. We talked about that earlier, Tommy, and it's probably gotten even better this offseason. But their defense definitely probably held them in games at times. But they put up a lot of points against the Rams in the postseason, and you kind of saw that in the final stretch. Yeah. So they're kind of that one outlier. But around that, it's the Browns, the Commanders, the Titans, the Raiders, the Saints, the Jets. You would expect those.
Basically the top of the draft order for the NFL.
Right.
You just reverse it.
Yeah, and I think Carolina opened everyone's eyes when they went up to Green Bay and scored 30. I think it was 30-27. So that listen, if Bryce Young can keep going and they add enough to the defense, maybe they make a return. I like Canales, the coach. I like him. He's like he feels like a Mike McDonald type. Like the players like him, although he's probably strict but fair, and honest and that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's got a good team, and they added on defense. We'll see. Like we're talking to Jaguars today with Devin Lloyd. Did we get his best this year, or is there more to come? I think he's still ascending, but we'll only know as time goes on.
Yeah. By the way, it was 16-13. So a little bit more the Panthers beating the Packers.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Either way, you had the three-point game. Yeah.
I thought it was a higher scoring game. My bad.
No, all good.
But still beating them up there is pretty dark.
That's not hard. I mean, that's not easy to do.
Although the Browns beat them too, didn't they?
Their losses were weird. It was they would lose against
losses.
It was a weird season for them.
It sure was.
Which you like.
Oh, it was great.
I was waiting for that. All right, back to Hardball we go. We will chat with Robert Flores from the Major League Baseball Network. On the other side, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies. Bowden Eye and Associates.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Leon Serza here, your lemon pepper guy. You know Wingstop always delivers. And I'm not talking about their cook-to-order, hand-sauced and tossed chicken sandwich in your choice of 12 mouth-watering flavors. I'm not talking about the house-made ranch. So good, nobody will blame you if you double dip. I'm talking about Wingstop that delivers straight to your door. And did you know they're open until 1 a.m.? So visit wingstop.com or use the app to get flavors delivered right to your door, late night, only at Wingstop.
Can't stop. Wingstop.
Spring cleaning is good, sure, but there's something even better. Spring cleaning and organizing. I love organizing. This is Lauren Brooks, and I also love our organized closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. From closets and garages to entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and storage for any space and budget. Make an appointment to tour their beautiful showroom on Phillips Highway today and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off, free installation, and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free consultation at 904-878-9393 or online, closetsbydesign.com.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
Bet on the ball game. Get your money down. Money lines, totals, and parlays. We're cashing tickets all around.
It's baseball betting season, and VSiN's MLB betting guide is a home run for bettors. Download your free special edition of the guide, featuring a betting preview of the Atlanta Braves and Tampa Bay Rays at 1010XL.com. That's 1010XL.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, proud partner and orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. We're honored that the Jacksonville Icemen rely on our team for their sports medicine and orthopedic care. We built this practice with one mission, to raise the bar for orthopedic care right here in our hometown. Faster access, smarter treatment plans, and better results. Whether you're recovering from a sports injury or managing joint pain, we're here to help you get back in the game, stronger and pain-free. Visit osjax.com to learn more. That's osjax.com.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Icemen gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For honest, professional locksmith service, use Instant Keys.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels. Lauren Brooks here, Tom McManus here, Taylor Dahl here. We're going to talk a little bit of Major League Baseball now, joined by Robert Flores of MLB Network. Robert, thanks for jumping on. And I know it's a busy time, baseball kicking off, but we are excited to talk about it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's start with, it's, I guess, day 3 of opening day, because we had a little bit of opening night on Wednesday, a lot of opening day yesterday, teams like the Braves opening today. So overall, just when you look at the teams in this league, it feels like Dodgers and versus everybody else right now. But are there any other teams coming into the season that you are high on initially?
Well, you're right. I mean, the Dodgers are a pretty heavy favorite to win a third consecutive World Series. But baseball's so unique. One, the length of the season, the fact, and two, they play nearly every day. It is a long season. It is grueling. Injuries happen. Unexpected things happen. And sometimes it's just plain weird. But that being said, yes, the Dodgers are the overwhelming favorite. But look, last year the Toronto Blue Jays took them to 7 games and had opportunities to win that series. Philadelphia Phillies, if things had broken right, maybe that series gets extended in the National League postseason. So, yes, the Dodgers are the overwhelming favorite, but there are a handful of teams, the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, the Yankees could definitely, they have the pitching that could be enough to get them to the World Series and ultimately win it. So while, yes, it's the Dodgers that get all the headlines, there's still a handful of contenders that could take them out.
Do you think the World Baseball Classic helped the promotion of opening day and really just the Major League Baseball season? Do you think that kind of, reinvigorated people that are baseball fans?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the event has really grown significantly, especially since 2023, when the United States lost to Japan in that World Baseball Classic. And this year, this year's event was no different. I think the event is getting bigger and bigger, and I think what's part of the growth process is that the star players understand and realize the value that this event has, not only for the game, but they also want to be a part of it. They see how much it means to the players that participate, how much it means to the fans that are in the stands watching, and the ratings and the streaming numbers for this World Baseball Classic were through the roof. So I think that this event continues to get a whole bunch of momentum, and I think that whenever the next one is that they decide to have, I think it's definitely going to continue that trend.
Robert, great to have you on the show here on 1010XL. As we all know, the CBA expiring at the end of the year. I know it's all excitement with kicking off this season, but it's got to be looming in the back of people's minds. You hear salary cap, salary floor, et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel this thing's going to go as we sit here today?
I have no idea. All those decisions are well above my pay grade. What I do know is there are very, very smart people on both sides, and they realize that the game is in a good place, that the ratings are up, that viewership is up, the demographic, the fan base, the people that watch the game, the demographic is trending in the right direction. So there's certainly a lot of things going for baseball, Major League Baseball as an industry. And like I said, the people on both sides recognize that, and I'm sure they're going to do their best to try to keep that momentum.
Robert, when you talk about the ABS system being implemented this season, just by a quick search, used 31 times in the first 12 games this season, 19 calls overturned. That's 61.3% so far. So what are your thoughts early on of this and how it's being used?
I like it. I liked it when it was used in the minor leagues. It's been used in the minor leagues for several years. I liked it when they used it in the All-Star game last year. So I think it's a welcome change. It's almost instantaneous. It doesn't disrupt the flow of the game. And also, I think it does underscore or highlight the fact that a lot of these umpires, many of them, most of them, do a really good job. It is very, very difficult to have a consistent strike zone, to be effective behind the plate as an umpire. The pitches are coming in faster than ever before with a whole bunch of movement. So I think it's been a welcome addition to the game.
All right, so we've got tons of fans of the Rays and the Braves here in this area, Robert. As far as those two teams, their outlook this season, obviously, we know with the Rays, they're a team that's never going to spend that much. And then the Braves have had a lot of pitching injuries. What do you think about those two squads?
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays are – I stopped counting out the Tampa Bay Rays years ago. They do it in such a unique way. They find ways to win in the margins. So it's not going to surprise me if they find a way to be in the postseason mix. Now, look, their division is arguably the best in baseball, the American League East. There's a real chance that 4 teams out of that division make it to the postseason. So that's no easy choice. But like I said, I stopped counting out the Rays years ago. As far as the Atlanta Braves, they've got their work cut out for them as well. The National League East is also very challenging with the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. And I think the Miami Marlins are a team that can be sneaky good as well. And right now they're going through some injury problems, especially in the rotation. They're expecting a lot out of Chris Sale. But Ronaldo Lopez has had some issues with his velocity. Spencer Strider is also dealing with a little bit of an injury to start the season. Spencer Schwellenbach isn't going to be back for a little bit. So this is going to be a very challenging time for the Atlanta Braves to start the season.
Robert Flores here with us on Helmets and Heels on 1010 XL. Robert, I'm told you're from the Houston area, so I'm sure you keep a keen eye on the Astros. A big loss last night to the college hoops team, and, man, your Texans in the playoffs once again last year. How you feeling about the sports outlook in the city of Houston?
Well, it was a rough 24 hours, I'll tell you that. The Houston Rockets earlier this week had a historic collapse in overtime. And then yesterday, the Houston Astros got 3 hits and a shutout loss to the Angels, who might be one of the worst teams in the American League. And then the Houston Cougars, unfortunately, lost at home in Houston in the Sweet 16. So, and as far as the Texans go, what are they going to get a quarterback? Which version of C.J. Stroud is going to show up? So, because the one that has been playing the last 2 years, I don't think is enough for a deep postseason run. But and plus they got to deal with Duval. Duval. Is that how Coach Cohen says it?
We heard you, Rob.
He's worked on it. Okay, he's worked on it.
Okay.
That was a shot.
Robert, sticking with the Houston Texans for a minute, because they made several moves in free agency. The Jags, not so much. They didn't have much money to spend. James Gladstone came out and spoke on how he valued those comp picks a little bit more. So not bringing in a ton of free agents compared to what they lost in an ETN and a Devin Lloyd. But one of the moves the Texans did make was David Montgomery. That run game last year was clearly an issue along with the offensive line. Chat about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line has been an issue the last couple of years. And, I thought in 2024, I blame some of the issues, most of the issues that C.J. Stroud on the offensive line. And they were a little bit better last year, but it's still an area of need. They really missed Joe Mixon last season. But I think signing David Montgomery should help. But yeah, it all starts up front. I mean, look, if you're a football fan, and I mean, it starts up front. You've got to be good on both sides of the ball along the lines. You got to have a really good offensive line. You got to be solid defensive line. And their defense was good enough to win a championship, certainly good enough to go to the Super Bowl last year. But unfortunately, offensively, they just didn't have the support.
So, Robert, you're there. What is C.J. Stroud's problem, do you think? Why isn't he having more successful seasons in his career so far?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I wish I knew, because the guy that came out of Ohio State and played his rookie season, it was like, holy bleep, this is the guy. This is the guy that's going to, lead them. And especially coming after the Deshaun Watson debacle, to land C.J. Stroud immediately after that. And then, but for whatever reason, the last couple of seasons have not been up to par, and it seems like he and everyone else has been chasing that rookie season of C.J. Stroud. It's been a very curious regression. I know that the good thing is, I don't know CJ personally, but he seems like a good kid, a hard worker, and maybe they can figure it out, because like I said, that defense still is good enough to win a championship. They just need a little bit more offense.
Robert, RJ will kill me if I don't ask you, how's Diamond Dynasty? Because he follows you on Twitch.
I mean, look, playing MLB The Show is like a full-time job. They have so many things they have so many missions and different things that you have to complete. As a matter of fact, when I hang up with you guys, I'm going to stream some baseball when I'm done on my Twitch page. So I love it. I'm one of the commentary voices in this year's game for the first time. So as someone that grew up in the 80s playing video games, to be in a video game, it's really, really cool. And so I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, that'll lift your spirits after the bad sports week. Robert, we so appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
You got it. Have a great weekend, guys.
You too. I'm sure we'll bother him again. And I was not going to mention, but my team beat Houston
You know how
in the
it
national
feels, yeah.
championship last year. But yeah, us
This year,
not repeating back-to-back, that did fall short. All right, more to do on the other side, including Lauren's Lane. Thanks again to Robert Flores of MLB TV and MLB Network. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Live play-by-play sports were made for radio.
Well, there is advertising worth the price of admission.
And 1010XL was made for you.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
It's a Helmets and Heels Friday, checked by Bowden Iron Associates.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Looking for golf that doesn't feel like golf? Welcome to Pine Royale, Callahan's new golf entertainment destination. Play a 9-hole par 3 course, compete in Trackman-powered driving bays, and get ready for all-new 18-hole mini golf coming soon. As the sun goes down, the course lights up. Add in great food, a full bar, and space to hang with the whole crew, and suddenly golf feels a whole lot more social. Search Pine Royale Callahan and come play today.
Want to show off that backyard flex? Purple Heart Pools, a veteran-owned pool company right here in Jacksonville, is offering a brand new custom pool and spa package for a flat $75,000. All in, no bait, no switch. You heard that right. Only $75,000 for a custom pool and spa. Now's the time to break ground. Game days, summer nights, and neighborhood envy included. Schedule a free consultation today at purpleheartpools.com. Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company. Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
We know what to look for. We go right to the source, the connections. But yeah, we go directly to the source.
Dan and John Lupo at Beard's Diamonds talking about what it means to be a direct diamond importer.
We do a lot of business out of India. We do a lot of business out of Antwerp, Belgium, Israel, Africa as well. We will do whatever it takes to get the stone that the customer wants at the best price guaranteed.
So every diamond at Beard's is hand-picked and brought in with no third-party markups. And so with no commission salespeople and no Wall Street quotas, Beard's can price every diamond for less.
If they've been shopping, which we encourage, and then come to us, and they're kind of, at first, they're like, oh, why is this $5,000 or $7,000 less?
Best value guarantee, best selection guarantee, best experience, bar none, guaranteed. From Jacksonville's locally owned Diamond Powerhouse.
The family, the relaxed atmosphere, and we're there for each other.
It gives us a big advantage being local, and we love Jacksonville. The money stays in Jacksonville, by the way.
Beard's Diamonds in St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you, cruising through a sun-splashed Friday afternoon. Time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
All right, I've got a golf shout out to start off Lauren's Lane. That's right. Caitlin Schroeder, who's been on Helmets and Heels in the past. She is a redshirt junior at UNF. She posted her third career runner-up finish for North Florida at the Florida State matchup this past weekend. She finished 5 under 211. Her second place, her final round was a 68. She almost won it.
Wow.
But Caitlin Schroeder is the daughter of Scott Schroeder, who was the longtime coach and now the director of golf there at UNF. And Caitlin is a class act. Scott, of course, also is a class act. But UNF women's golf returns for its final regular season tournament this upcoming weekend, the Coach Mo Classic, or sorry, not weekend, early next week, Monday and Tuesday, March 30th and 31st at St. John's Golf and Country Club in St. Augustine. So way to go, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep
Congratulations.
it up and go ahead and win that event.
It's fantastic.
And then a couple basketball notes. Isaiah Brown, another one of Florida's
coming
guards,
back.
deciding
Number
to
20.
return. That's right, number 20.
So Boogie
well
and him so far have
And
announced
Urban
it. And
Klabjar.
Urban
And
Klabjar,
number 7.
Yes, Urban Klabjar. And so I'm hoping, and because the way that Isaiah posted it was run it back, so I'm hoping that more of them will decide to return
it
as
back.
well,
Yeah.
like Alex Condon and Ruben Chinelu.
Is there
and
anybody that
maybe
cannot?
Thomas Hoke. Yeah, Xavier Lee
Okay.
absolutely cannot.
Okay.
And Micah Hanlogton, who, remember, in the national championship season last year, he gave up his medical red shirt so
to
that he
play
could be
like a
part
little
because
bit
Alex
towards the end of the
Condon
season.
had turned his ankle. And so he's going to apply for a medical hardship and try to get another year of eligibility, but most likely that won't be granted. But either way, we'll obviously
I feel like if
these keep
Chambliss
trickling
gets
down.
it, he should get it.
I agree with you. I know the circumstances are different because Hanlogton's been at the D1 level the whole time. And then one other shout out, Bishop Kenny girls basketball. Kathleen Crawley is the Class 4A Player of the Year, and the head coach, Will Mayer, earned the top coaching honors after, of course, Bishop Kenny girls brought home the state championship.
All right.
Congratulations.
That's
Way to
right.
go, man.
And they are now in the balloting for Florida Dairy Farmers Miss Basketball and Coach of the Year honors.
All right.
And like I told y'all, Liam Cohen chatted with the Bishop Kenny girls
That's
team
right.
because there's a coaching connection, a player connection, and I feel like he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Well, and
Unlike
he's talking
me in
to
my speech to Boston College. Really went well, Tom. Way to go. That whole
I don't-
grit. The grits.
I
yeah,
don't think
did
that
work.
was you. I think
Yeah,
there
it
might
might
have
have
been some
been
issues with
some
the
other
ball.
problems.
That's what I think.
Well, they and he's at Florida, so let's see what he can do with that group now, as he's there with Urban Meyer hanging out.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ask Liam to. Well, no, this is the coaches' clinic, so I don't think he'll give the coaches a pep talk, but maybe he will. I don't know if he gets to speak to the team.
Yeah,
I guess we'll have to follow along with the social posts and see exactly what's going on.
I'd want to hear from all of them, if you're somewhere, I'll one at a time.
Talking about to the players.
Yeah,
for sure.
I want to hear what Gruden would say. I'd want to hear what Urban would say. I'd want to hear what they all had to say.
I was
Those are legends.
And Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
Well, of course, yeah. That goes
You already know
without
what he
saying.
has to say.
I better say that. He'll get after me when I see him next.
I was hearing Jeff go on a rant about, I guess, a lot of the Florida guys at at their pro days didn't have the best when it comes to
bench press,
or all their numbers were kind of bad across the board. And he was just going off on Billy Napier about it. He was like, "This is what he didn't develop. He didn't train these guys properly. He didn't do any of this," because it was they were towards the bottom, all of them. Like the one center, was it Slaughter?
Jake
Slaughter.
Yeah,
22 times, something like that. Yeah, not very good.
No.
But here's the thing. We don't know. Some guy the bench is it's so overrated. incline is more of the movement you do in a game.
Yeah.
You don't really go straight out. You're kind of up on an incline. And certain guys are built for it. You either have a big barrel chest and your arms aren't as long as somebody else's, or you don't, your arms are really long. Or maybe your grip's a little bit more inside than the wider you go, the shorter you have to go.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of I mean, look, if you're doing 30 plus, it means you're strong. It doesn't matter how you're doing it. 22, I don't know. I remember when Keith McCants, who remembers that name? He only did 7.
Oh, no.
He was still a top 10 pick in the NFL. The Bucks grabbed him out of Bama. I remember that. I was like, 7? Jeez, like that means you ain't been working out at all. Like, do you even work out? Like, that's unbelievable for a D lineman.
That is crazy. I was curious about Aaron Donald after we saw the video today of him taking 150-pound dumbbells on each side and just easily doing bench press with those. At the Combine in 2014, Aaron Donald did 35 reps of 225.
Yeah. Seems about right.
He honestly probably was like, I'm getting bored.
That's enough.
That's enough is right.
He's a freak of nature. That's just... I've told this story, but not on this show. I'll never forget Tony Brackens. We're in the weight room, and it's the off season, and I think he's still a rookie. And he's like, "Yo, will you spot me on the bench?" And you can never tell if Tony was being serious all the time. Sometimes he'd be goofing around. I'm like, Tone, what? So I look, he's got 385 on the bench, and I'm like, do you need a spot? Like, what? He's like, yeah, just watch me, man. I don't know how many I'm gonna do. And I'm like, all right. So he's got a close grip. Now he's got really long arms, Tony. But he's got a close grip, and I go, do you want me to lift it off? He's like, yeah, I might need to lift off. I was like, all right. So he takes it off the bench. He goes, whew, and throws it around 10 times. Like it was like a feather. And he ragged it. I'm like, that beep ain't fair, Tony. That's just not fair. And I literally walked out of the weight room. I was so mad. I was like, how do you say that's just natural God-given strength. And here I am, trying to do all these workouts and stuff.
He didn't even need you.
He didn't even need me. And he knew he didn't need me. That was part of the whole.
He's like, watch this.
I was like, oh my gosh, unbelievable.
To put that in comparison, for close grip press, I think the most I can do is 40 pounds. 2 20-pound dumbbells, close grip press is so hard.
Yeah, so hard. Yeah. Well, whatever. It's just,
It was 335, you said?
385
on a barbell. Yeah.
Insane.
And Leon was saying he wasn't that strong. Leon took 130. No, maybe they were 130s, and he did them he did them parallel to his body, not perpendicular. He cranked out 15 of them like they were nothing back in the day. So I was strong legs. I could do all that, but to see guys, some of the weight that guys would throw around was clearly just awesome to watch. I remember DeMarco, his big offensive line, he'd take 350 off the floor and just pick it up over his head, and he'd look around to see if anybody's watching. And then he would throw it down on the ground. He's just geez.
You better have some spongy floors when you're throwing that much weight on the ground.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had the Olympics set up and all that stuff. But
awesome.
Yeah, fun stuff.
All right, let's get into some college football on the other side. I've got some college football questions for Taylor and Tom. We will be right back. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Drink a beer, sing a song, make a friend. Can't we all get along?
Drink a beer, sing a song, can't we all get along?
This is great!
Exactly.
1010XL.
It's time to upgrade your ride at Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Trade your Tesla for the ultimate luxury. Experience a brand new Cadillac EV.
At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, we have over 33 stunning EVs to choose from.
Feel the power and enjoy a range that takes you farther than ever before.
You love your Tesla, but it's time to elevate your ride. Pick the color and drive away today.
Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, where luxury meets performance. Visit us today.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent you.
Bowden Iron Associates.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate the 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Jake McAllister, senior lacrosse and football player at Fletcher High. Jake's a member of the National Honor Society and the Key Club. He's been accepted to attend Lincoln Memorial University.
Best Bet poker fans, the stakes are high this month as Best Bet dishes out over $700,000 between Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine's poker rooms. Feeling lucky? How about daily high hands, weekend winnings every Friday and Saturday, and go for the green on St. Patrick's Day, where a royal flush in clubs wins up to $5,000. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
If your lawn took a beating this winter, listen up. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They've just started the first of 3 rounds of premium granular fertilizer. No cheap liquid fertilizer here. Custom blended for Northeast Florida lawns. Their certified technicians apply slow-release nutrients. Rebuild your lawn thick, strong, and green over time. Plus, they protect your home from pests and termites. Call Julington Creek Pest Control today. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball opens today at 5-Star Ballpark. Come early for the opening day street carnival and don't miss post-game fireworks, all presented by Roland Reese Plumbing and Ascension St. Vincent's. Tomorrow, the first 2,000 fans get replica championship rings and more fireworks presented by Birkin Construction. The defending AAA national champs are home all weekend. Tickets start at just $5. Visit jackshrimp.com for tickets.
The Golf Club of Southampton is gearing up for brand new greens and a lot more. And now's your chance to save on membership before the fee increase. Take advantage of $1,000 savings if you join before the work starts in late April and before the initiation fee goes up. It's a great deal, plus $500 additionally in Pro Shop credit. Don't miss out. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Become a member now and save big. The course is in great shape, so head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee.
Top Dog Tavern is your gathering place for family and friends, offering something for everyone. Want a delicious meal served with a smile? We have you covered. Shareable appetizers, hot and crispy wings, juicy tavern burgers, fresh salads, plus a large craft beer selection. And there is nowhere better to watch all the big games than on our multiple TVs. Enjoy great food, cold drinks, and good times at Top Dog Tavern, located in Bartram Park off Old St. Augustine Road.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. The Jacksonville Jaguars will host hundreds of flag football athletes for the team's NFL Flag Regional Tournament this Saturday. More than 65 youth flag football teams, including 9 Jaguars elite programs, will compete across several divisions, vying for a spot at the 2026 NFL Flag Championships in Westfield, Indiana. In July, 9 a.m. will be the start of the tournament pool play at the Clay County Regional Sports Complex. Right now, 86 degrees at 3:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dell, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. All right, the college football questions that I have for y'all. In front of me, I have some odds to win each conference. We won't go through them all, but just some of the Power 4 ones. Who do you think has the best odds to win the ACC? I think this one's fairly easy.
Miami.
Yeah.
You are correct. The Big 12, y'all probably don't even know some of the teams that are in the Big 12 at this point in time, but I'll tell you, no, it's Texas Tech. I wouldn't have guessed that one, but they've obviously been pouring a lot of money into a lot of their sports programs. The Big Ten is a tie between 2 teams. I fully believe you can get it.
Ohio State.
Indiana.
And Indiana, you are correct. The SEC one is a little trickier. Who do you think has the best odds to win the SEC? So obviously I'm giving you a hint.
Total. like both sides, the whole. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's no East and West anymore. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, I was.
Yeah. So yeah, just the total SEC.
Okay.
I would.
You
I go
normally guess
Georgia.
Georgia, right?
Yeah.
But I gave you the hint that it's not Georgia. So
LSU.
a good guess. They have the third best odds.
Tennessee.
It's a team that begins with that same letter.
Texas.
There you go. Texas has the best odds at
Texas.
3-1.
Yeah.
Then Georgia 4-1, LSU 5-1, Texas A&M 8-1, Tennessee not until you get to a tie with Florida 22-1.
Ooh.
So they don't believe in the Vols this year.
Where's Bama?
I guess with no Joey Aguilar.
Yeah,
Bama comes in tied. Sorry, I meant to mention them. Bama comes in tied with A&M at 8-1 odds.
Okay.
Then Ole Miss, then Oklahoma. Ole Miss is probably like, come on, man.
Yeah,
You
right.
went far in the college football playoff, but they don't have Lane
I
Kiffin.
got to
anymore.
get used to Texas being in the SEC.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, it just seems. I mean,
Yeah,
I know they are, but I just.
Have I ever told you that story? We were at SEC Media Days in Birmingham, Alabama, and it's technically Hoover, Alabama, and we're all in the this hotel that holds the conference media days, and all of a sudden we see, I think it was Matt Hayes that first saw it. We see a tweet from a verified source that was out of the Houston Chronicle. Someone reporting there, and it was like Texas and Oklahoma will be joining the SEC. This is at SEC Media Days.
Wow.
So it went from like normal media days where coaches and players are walking around with their handlers to all of a sudden Greg Sankey, who does a ton of stops all throughout the 4 days at different radio stations. And I really don't think Greg Sankey turns anyone away. Like, he's so good with his time, so generous with his time. Literally, there is a mob of national reporters swarming around Greg Sankey because they obviously had all seen the news at the same time. And he was
probably like, oh gosh, here we go.
Yeah, he was like, I was thinking I don't know what he was thinking. I'm sure he was thinking this was not supposed to break until after SEC Media Days ended because this is now taking so much attention away from the teams that are already in the conference. And it was wild.
Yeah, and the players that are there, and that's kind of what that's for. And all of a sudden, it pivoted very quickly.
It did.
Yeah,
it was absolutely insane. Go ahead.
It is interesting. Just going back real quick to those teams when we talk about the ones expected to win each of the conferences. When you're talking about the SEC, I think will be interesting anyways, just because I do think some of the changes, coaching changes, there's a lot of quarterback changes when it comes to, with LSU now it's Sam Levitt and you don't have Garrett Nussmeier, and what exactly does that look like? And then Arch, I feel like we saw last year that slow start of Arch, but by the end of the year, he was looking good. Like a really good quarterback. And so I'm guessing that's a big part. Texas has a lot of weapons in general, but it does kind of link to the quarterbacks of these schools. And that's what, it rules the world. We talk about it in the NFL, coaches and quarterbacks. You got those and you have a chance, and that's what it kind of even looks like there too. Miami obviously going and getting a quarterback. All of those schools that we feel like are leading that, you are talking about their quarterback the most.
Yeah. Tons of, like you said, college football, different coaches in the SEC, obviously throughout the Power Four, but a lot in the SEC. By the way, that was July 21st, 2021 when that happened.
Wow, that's a long time.
And I know that's what's so crazy.
That long ago.
They obviously didn't join that first year.
Ole Miss would be higher if they knew Chambliss was the QB, I would imagine.
And if Lane Kiffin was still there.
Yeah.
Even if Chambliss wasn't there.
When do we find that out? Like, is Chambliss practicing? Like, did they already officially say?
Yeah, I think
I thought they ended up.
They went back again and denied. I think
he tried. Like, he appealed. They appealed. He appealed. But I want to say they ended up saying he can go back.
Yeah,
I didn't think I
thought he
saw
was
that.
able to go back.
Okay.
Everything I'm reading says that he's practicing.
And then, but Aguilar can't.
Right.
So at least
Aguilar
right
is
now.
still working on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because Aguilar, I think, had more time playing in. Yeah, because he went to like 3 different schools.
Yeah.
And Chambliss went just D2 and then
right.
and then Ole Miss.
Fair State and then there.
Yeah. Looking through Florida's schedule, we went through FSU's schedule yesterday. Taylor and I predicted when Mike Norvell would get fired, which for me, I predicted right after the Clemson loss, because at that point they're going to be like 3-6.
Okay.
And so we'll go through the Florida schedule now, and that way, we can figure out kind of where we think Florida will be in John
Who's the
Summerall's
QB?
I was about to ask.
Who's the QB?
If you were to guess right now.
That is a great question.
No
I
idea.
really think it's
Let's go with the
50-50 at
Mandarin
this
kid.
point in time. Yeah,
I'm going with that.
Everything that I've heard and read is Tramel Jones Jr.'s throwing motion looks better than Aaron Philo's, but Aaron Philo knows the offense. So I really don't know who's going to win outright. And I heard Frank make this point, and I totally agree with him. Neither of them have the experience to be able to be game ready and have you feeling like, okay, well, let's start this one and then maybe we can bring the other one in, like a Chris Leak, Tim Tebow type situation.
Yeah.
You can't do that because neither one really has the experience.
Yeah, and I never liked that. You're looking over your shoulder.
Quarterback rotation.
Yeah, you just always, if you throw
Spurrier
bad.
did it at times and it was successful, but that's Spurrier.
Yeah.
All right, so Florida starts off. Florida, of course, last season 4-8. Florida starts off with FAU. FAU last season was 4-8. I'm going to say that's a win for the Gators.
I think they can win that.
Better than
Long Island.
Long Island, you got that right. All right, the second game for Florida is against Campbell. And in case you're wondering their mascot, I've got it for you.
There it is.
The Fighting Camels.
Campbell Camels.
You got that right.
That's
the
too much.
Campbell Camels. They were 2-10 a season ago.
I think that Florida might win that one.
They play in the FCS. If
where?
Florida doesn't win,
Where are they
in
from?
Gainesville.
No, where are they from?
Oh, I don't know.
Campbell
I just looked up
Camels.
Fighting Camels.
What?
I brought you that information.
Holy moly!
I would imagine like maybe the Northeast.
That's
looks like
that's gotta stop.
North Carolina.
I mean, go eat some soup. I mean, give me a
Eat some
break.
soup.
All right,
That
the
is
third
off.
game is at Auburn. Those first two, of course, in Gainesville. The third game is at Auburn. Auburn last season was 5-7. They were 1-7 in the SEC. And Alex Skolish, who comes from UCF, is now the head coach at Auburn.
Let's say Florida wins that game.
All right, 3-0. I like that. And
What are you
then
saying?
Florida.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah.
New
You better.
coach. There's a lot of newness there that they're going to be figuring out early in the season.
Yeah, obviously same
They
with
should
Florida.
do it
too.
against Campbell, no problem.
Yeah.
She's talking about Auburn.
Yeah.
Oh, Auburn,
Yeah,
right,
newness
right.
there.
Sorry.
All right, then at
Sure,
home
they got
against
their own.
Ole Miss. Ole Miss, of course, last season 13-2, a playoff team, 7-1, and they promoted Pete Golding from defensive coordinator to head coach. I feel like that's really tough for Florida, even though that game's at home. But I don't know what to make of Ole Miss. They had lost a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm. I think Ole Miss wins that one.
They get the back though, don't they? Did the back go back?
Especially
back?
with Trinidad being back, the back being back. I'll go with Ole Miss on that one.
Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss.
All right.
Side note, real quick:
Yeah.
Auburn right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of their offense are all transfers. Starting this year, that's a lot.
That
The
is
only
a lot.
returning is one of their wide receivers, their right guard, and their running back. Everybody else is transfers.
Get a couple kegs and
Yeah.
get to know each other. I mean, 9, you know what I mean? Like, you got to find chemistry somehow.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Rent a beach house like DJ
Something,
Lagley's doing.
whatever.
All right, at Missouri is the next game. Missouri last season 8-5, 4-4 in the SEC. I'm keeping track of y'all's records.
Yeah, just to see where we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to say W.
For
Florida.
Yeah.
W.
I'm going to say Missouri.
Okay. So that has Taylor at 3-2 for Florida so far this season, and Tom at 4-1. All right, then we
Wow.
get to Florida.
First two,
Whoops.
2-0.
Florida at home,
Hang
and
on,
you had
what-
Florida beating Auburn.
Putting the raise. What?
You had Florida beating Auburn.
Yeah,
too.
right.
Yeah.
All right, so then Florida plays host to South Carolina. South Carolina had the same record as Florida last year, 4-8, but they were 1-7 in the SEC.
Is Sellers back?
He is back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
think I'm
didn't have a
going
great
Florida,
year.
though.
I'm gonna go
South
Florida.
Carolina, I think,
Yeah.
has some issues
I
right now.
agree.
All right, 5-1. and
Crazy how much that
4-2.
changes because this time last year it was like Lenore's Heisman
Right,
possibility.
right.
This is going to be one of the better teams, and that flips kind of quickly.
It happens like that.
Yeah.
Florida's at Texas. Texas last year,
Texas.
10-3, 6-2, but of course Florida beat Texas last
Yeah.
year,
Yeah,
even
Texas.
with Billy Napier.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Arch is a lot
Arch
better. I
is
feel like
better, yeah. He's going to be good.
All right, so that has Tom at 5-2 for Florida so far, and Taylor 4-3. Then we get to Georgia and Atlanta. That game, of course, not in Jacksonville because of the
Yeah.
renovations to Everbank Stadium.
Georgia.
I can understand
Yeah.
why you would pick that.
Yeah.
I
Taylor,
guess I
same
got to
thing?
say Georgia too.
All right, so that has
Guess. What is guess?
Yeah.
Why?
Tom
I
at
can make an argument for
5-3.
Florida because I think even in recent years when Florida's been
They
like
played
bad,
tough.
they've it's been close.
Yeah,
and there
it's a
was the
good
argument like Lagway didn't go out, you possibly
Yep.
beat them, and so it's been close. So I can make an argument,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think there's like you don't even know who the quarterback is in Florida, so there's so much
Yeah.
guessing right now, and I
Right.
do feel like Georgia at least is set in that.
And that's why I'm not adding my 2 cents because
Yeah.
I'll pick a lot more wins than I probably should. All right, so that has Tom having Florida at 5-3, Taylor at 4-4, and then Florida's at home against Oklahoma last year, 10-3, 6-2 in the SEC.
I mean, Tears back, isn't he? The quarterback?
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going with
I
them.
guess Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Sorry.
all good.
We'll turn it around.
Florida's
It's
at
okay. It's his
Kentucky.
first year. It's okay.
Kentucky has a new coach, Will Stein, the former Oregon offensive coordinator. Kentucky last season 5-7, 2-6 in the SEC.
No, Florida. though.
Florida.
All
Better.
right.
Better beat them.
I should have made someone else keep track. And then we have Florida playing host to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt last year really good, 10-3, 6-2, but no Diego
No
Pavia.
Pavia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida.
I'm going to take
me.
Florida.
All right. So with the last game where Florida travels to FSU last season 5-7, Tom
Florida.
has the Gators 7-4. Taylor has the Gators 6-5. But you've
Yeah.
already said Florida. All right. So and you're going Florida as well.
Yeah. 8-4.
Yeah. So Tom has Florida finishing 8-4, which would
Be
be
a good year for them.
great season under John Summerall's first year. And then Taylor has 7-5 for the University of Florida. Fighting Gators.
Yeah.
in the first season.
I think either. I mean, you'd rather have 8-4. That feels a lot better. But,
obviously.
And then you never know. You get on a run. You know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't know if you could be even a 7-5 though first year. Still, like both these quarterbacks, how quickly do you figure that out and what that looks like? In addition to that schedule, I mean, you're going through Texas and Oklahoma's, and it's a little brutal for that stretch there. So I don't know if you would even be upset if that was the outcome at the end. If you're a Florida fan,
but on the opposite side, if let's say Florida beats Auburn and Ole Miss to start things off, and Florida's 4-0 going to Missouri, you have so much confidence. And again, I'm not predicting that, just saying.
Right.
At that point in time, you're like, we're not going to lose to Missouri.
We're predicting 2-0.
Yes, we are predicting 2-0 against FAU and the Campbell Fighting Camels. But just a reminder, last year Florida lost at home to USF, so anything can happen. But again, Alex Golish no longer at US. No, he was at UCF. Yeah. I liked the coach there. All right,
multiple people on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, by the way, is commenting about the Campbells. Somebody said their brother went there. Somebody else said Campbell is in North Carolina, has a good law program, and baseball's been pretty good there.
Good. Yeah. There you go. Beautiful.
Learn something new every...
You can play him in baseball, too, when it comes around.
You got that right. All right, more to do on the other side, including Tom's take. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Well, I can't believe Sir Steven Spielberg, the grooviest filmmaker in the history of cinema, is making a movie about my life.
Dan Hicken.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Transform your backyard with CSS fireplaces and outdoor living, fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they can build it. Visit CSSOutdoor.com.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Written by Bowden Iron Associates.
In the game of vehicle performance and reliability, Atlantic Infinity is always the top pick. This is Hayes Carlion. Did you know that every certified pre-owned Infinity is inspected, factory-backed, with a limited warranty, and gets the same championship-level service as a brand-new Infinity? Every mile will feel like first class. Check out their full certified inventory now at AtlanticInfinity.com or visit Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Make more birdies with pointers from the pros on Brunch with the Tour with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Teed up on Clearwater Irrigation. Tuesday morning at 8:30 on 1010XL.
Before the regular season begins, cash in on baseball right now with a title on the line. This is Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet, and 20 nations are battling for the World Baseball crown. Step up to the plate and take your swing all tournament long on Hard Rock Bet. Lock in on all the action and make every pitch matter more on Hard Rock Bet. Easy to navigate and cash a winning bet. Download the Hard Rock Bet app now. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
March is full of upsets, but your oil change shouldn't be one of them. Don't gamble with your time in a waiting room. Go with a proven winner, Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment, stay in your car, and a full-service oil change in 15 minutes. That's why Valvoline has a 4.7-star national rating and was named #1 quick lube in America by Forbes for customer service. Make the smart pick this March. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, easy, and built to win.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you spend a lot of time talking about diamonds, but what about some of the colored stones we see?
Frank, when you talk about colored stones, there are literally hundreds of varieties and species in the gem kingdom. As certified gemologists, we're trained gemologically on the identification of each of these and can separate the man-made synthetics and imitations from the real thing. But at Underwoods, we can go to the next step. At Underwoods, we're active buyers of loose colored stones in the world markets, so we have an understanding of the values of colored stones as they relate back to the various qualities. In fact, just like diamonds, we buy most of our colored stones loose, then create the pieces of jewelry to hold the gems. You can be assured not only of the authenticity and quality of our colored stone jewelry, but also of the value. So if you're in the market for a fine quality emerald, sapphire, ruby, aquamarine, amethyst, citrine, tourmaline, peridot, or any other gemstone, come by and see us at Underwoods.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Second correction that I have to make for today. I had originally written down that Alex Golesh came to Auburn via UCF, and that's what I said, and that's incorrect. USF, which I knew because Alex Golesh was the coach of USF when they beat Florida at the Swamp when we were there. And it was the first time I had gone in a long time, and
I forgot about that.
Suffered that loss. The tailgating was still great, though.
Yeah.
And now, at least, looking forward to the orange and blue game, not this weekend, but next weekend. Time now for Tom's Take.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, or dial #law. That's all.
All right, my takes today on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I wish it was a better take. It's kind of a sad take, but one that I thought the audience would appreciate knowing. Barrett Robbins, the former center of the Oakland Raiders, LA Raiders, whatever they were back then, he was the center that disappeared the night before in the morning of the Super Bowl back in 2003 when they were in it under Bill Callahan. He was a great center who, after his career, just got into some really unfortunate situations. Diagnosed with bipolar, had substance abuse problems, was arrested many times. He died in his sleep last night peacefully at the age of 52. My heart goes out to people that deal with that mental illness, you know, and it's just such a, I don't even know how to explain it because I don't, you know, I'm a little mental, but not like, you know, in a sense like that, you know what I mean? And I just feel terrible for his family, and I hope he truly is resting in peace because it sounded like that was where he needed to go. So God bless you and his family, his wife Marissa, they have kids, and I hope they'll find peace somehow in this tragedy. Just a shame. And I just bring it up because he's, you know, a known guy, but I know a lot of people out there go through it. So try to take care of your people as much as possible, and hopefully they can take care of themselves as well. And that's my takeaway today, brought to you by our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. He was a really good center. I mean, and I remember that Super Bowl, like waking up, they're like, where's Barrett Robbins? You're like, what do you mean, where's Barrett Robbins? He like was named All-Pro that year, like really, really good center. And he went off, I think he went into Mexico, like it was in
Tijuana.
You know, Southern Cal where the Super Bowl was being played, maybe LA or San Diego or one of those.
Yeah.
And he did. I think it was San Diego, and he went down to Mexico and
It was San
had a
Diego, and they were the
and-
Oakland Raiders then.
Yep, and he didn't end up playing in that
Wow.
game. You know, the biggest game of his life, and
Was that the first start of indications that there was
publicly, I think. Yeah, who knows? You know, internally
Yeah.
if they knew, but I know after I just looking him up, and he had some pretty major issues.
Yeah,
pretty
I was
major.
kind of reading through that, and I was like, oh man, that's
Yeah.
a lot to take in. So I hope, to your point, that the last few years that the family was able to maybe find some peace, or he was able to find some peace and more
Yeah.
tranquility for his family.
Yeah, they said he really tried. It just the struggle always seemed to be there. And, you know, look, some people just, you know, that struggle is real and they
Yeah.
can't get rid of it for whatever reason. A lot of it's chemical, you know,
Yeah,
it's just
right.
whatever.
And some people
inside.
don't want to take the medications. I'm no expert.
makes
on
them
this,
feel
but-
right.
numb and they don't like that.
Yeah,
of not
or
feeling
different.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you have to, I know other people work through that process and then eventually land on medications that they're able to tolerate and that also
Mhm.
work for them. But I mean, it's a long process sometimes. It can take years to figure out, you know, the
Yep.
exact right dose for each individual person.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'll be
God bless
thinking,
him.
of his
Yeah, man.
family. It's a tough thing to go through.
Sorry.
Just I'm sorry.
This is a little bit of a side note, but did you guys see the comment from Cam Scadaboo about how he doesn't think CTE is real?
Yeah.
I just probably not the smartest thing to say in this day and age when we've seen and this one isn't a CTE thing, but and it's just, and I get it, like you're young and you're this guy who's known as just like you slam your head on walls and whatever, but I feel like it's a weird thing. You've seen all of a sudden the NFL transition into this world where like CTE and like head injury and concussions have
including
become
his quarterback that suffered multiple
this last season. Yeah.
He did apologize, just a young kid probably saying something stupid.
He probably thinks the earth is flat.
Yeah, and he'll, he took it back. So,
I don't know if you can just take it back. You said
no,
it.
I'm just saying he apologized, because you don't want that to happen to anybody.
No.
And it is real. I have teammates that have issues.
Have suffered,
I don't know if it's CT or whatever, but they definitely have cognitive issues, and it's scary and sad.
Oh yeah, but like Taylor said, this one isn't Barrett Roberts. May not be CTE, but they also don't know yet.
They don't know yet.
They will do. I don't know what obviously his last will and testament say, but if they do an autopsy, they can obviously
they could
then
see
look
that
for
maybe
CTE
it was impacted young. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah. Well,
52 is way too young.
Yeah,
I'm sure God didn't create us to slam our heads into each other. You know what I mean? We just came up with that on our own.
Yeah.
It's fun, don't get me wrong. But there are
we haven't created the safest things.
There are repercussions, for sure. All right, so speaking of football, Taylor's got some fun betting odds for us for the first round draft picks. I'm going to guess, Taylor, that this came on your radar because of Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest conversations when it comes to that. And one of the ones that I saw that I don't love is Jeremiah Love and the Tennessee Titans. That is not. Yes, I do not love that. And we had I'm trying to remember who we had for the Tennessee Titans, but that was one of the conversations where he said that was, that as a name that they're talking about a lot. I've heard other people, including Hayes on the Frangie show, be like, oh, I'd love them to do that. Like, I think that'd be dumb for them to make that move. I'd be terrified if Jeremiah Love was a part of that offense just because he was just such a huge part of what Notre Dame did. But yeah, so
Rhett
that is
Ryan, by the way, Rhett Ryan.
Rhett
for
Ryan.
The Titans.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
Rhett
right.
Ryan. And so when you go through, we'll start at the top. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza is the one for Indiana. We all kind of have seen that. Arvell Reese is what seems to be trending towards the New York Jets right now, that edge. I saw some pictures going viral of him and Ruben Bain, obviously. And Bain, we talk about the bend, Tommy, the Mike Green picture that went viral. Bain's picture looked like that. Arvell Reese, not so much. I was like, oh, it took him a little bit to get around the corner on some of the videos I've seen from him, but that's what's been trending towards that way. The Dallas Cowboys in this one, they have them trading up to get Jeremiah Love. And that would be, I think, massive for the Cowboys. They've made a lot of moves this offseason already to improve that team. And if Dak can stay healthy and do what he did just a couple years ago, that makes the Cowboys pretty dangerous. Granted, I feel like we say that every year at some point in time. They have the Tennessee Titans here taking the edge from Texas Tech, David Bailey. So they say Robert Saleh gets an explosive pass rusher to kickstart his new defense, but he was definitely looking at Sonny Styles and having some Fred Warner flashbacks for that. So yeah, Saleh, I think you're going to see a lot of trends of him getting players that were probably similar to defenses we saw in the 49ers this last season, at least there. The New York Giants, they have taking Sonny Styles, that linebacker out of Ohio State. Number 6, they have the Browns taking Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. I'm a big fan of him, offensive tackle. Some teams are higher on other tackles, but Freeling has ideal measurables and quickness and a higher ceiling at left tackle, they say. And obviously the Browns, that's something they need to fix. Every quarterback that played got sacked a ton this year in Cleveland. Washington Commanders, Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle. We know him very well here in Miami. They have them grabbing him at pick 7, at 8.
Which, by the way, that's low for what people thought for Mauigoa. They thought that he would be
like 3. Yeah, very high. And that's what it is. Even going back to that, some people would probably say that Cleveland would take him instead of Freeling, but seems like he thinks that just fit. For that is a little different. But New Orleans Saints at number 8, they have Ruben Bain, that edge out of Miami, obviously. And they said sometimes teams overthink and get bogged down in a player's length or speed. That's going to be one of the conversations. His arm length is what we're going to talk about a ton. Bain is not ideal in that respect, but watch the game film, and he's dominant, disruptive player who can move inside as well. Every Miami person you talk to are like, who cares? Because we watched him, and he, whoever they were playing.
Watch the film.
Yeah, some of the best offensive lines in the league, he had to go up
Yeah.
too, when he was getting it.
Yeah, he was equating himself to Mike Tyson. He's like, Mike Tyson didn't have the longest reach.
Right.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's true. We talked about that before. It's not just the length, it's the speed that you have with those hands,
Yeah.
you know. And if they're longer, yeah, of course. But if you can get inside, you know, with a quicker punch, you got a chance.
And I saw Cameron Wolf on NFL Network had Mario Cristobal on, and several of the Miami players too, and also Jason Taylor, one of the coaches for Miami. And Mario said that there were absolute battles between Akeem Mesidor and Francis Mauigoa, and of course Ruben Bain and Francis Mauigoa.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I would pay money
Makes
to
it
watch
better.
Those.
one-on-ones.
Mesidor I like a lot
Yeah.
too.
But his bend is unbelievable. Baines.
Yeah,
it's just
crazy.
unbelievable.
Like the way you look at his ankles, and it looks like they're almost detached from his body when he's coming around the edge. It's wild. Kansas City, they have taking Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle out of Utah. The Rams, they have a trade here again, getting Cardinal Tate, that wide receiver out of Ohio State. I mean, Puka and Cardinal Tate could be scary out there, to be honest with you. So that one, it would be interesting if you're talking about any of the trades coming. The Dolphins, they have taking Mansour Delane, the cornerback out of LSU. The Cardinals, they got this
Delane's
pick from,
the one who just earlier this week ran like a 4.29, 4.31, something like that.
Yeah. I think it was a 4.29.
Yeah,
fast guy. When you talk about speed, the Cardinals, they have this pick from the Cowboys. They take Caden Proctor, offensive tackle from Alabama. That's someone we talked a lot about this season, during the season. The Bengals, they have taken Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State. The Ravens, Mekhi Lemon, adding a wide receiver. I feel like every Ravens fans would celebrate. I feel like they've just wanted that true star wide receiver. I feel like that's not at the end of, at the tail end of their career. The Bucks, they have taken Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. The Jets have taken another wide receiver, Omar Cooper, the Indiana wide receiver. The Lions taking offensive tackle Blake Miller out of Clemson. The Vikings, Akeem Mesidor, we just talked about him. The other edge out of Miami. The Carolina Panthers, Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon. That's probably the best tight end. And then there's a little bit of a gap between the next tight end in this draft, I think. But there's some ones that I think you could still get third, fourth round. We've talked about here in Jacksonville. Do you need that other guy? Because it does feel like there's a drop-off behind Strange. The Cardinals, they have taken Jermod McCoy, the cornerback out of Tennessee. The Steelers, Dylan Tyneman, he's a safety out of Oregon. I really like him too. He's one of my favorite. But he's
been mocked to the Jaguars at 56.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make that. I'm seeing him as I'm starting my draft stuff, like late first, early second. A lot of people have him going. He rose within this last couple weeks.
Delane, by the way, ran a 4.38, so he's slow.
Yeah. Don't take it. You let him fall. The Cleveland Browns, this is the pick they got from Jacksonville. They have them taking Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama.
Which is so silly.
How would you feel like if that ended up happening on that day?
Silly.
You have now another 5 quarterbacks in your quarterback room. You're trying again after taking 2 last year, but this one's in the first round.
If you believe Ty Simpson is the answer, then no matter who you've taken in the past, it doesn't matter. You have to look to your future. And go for it. It just seems silly because of how many quarterbacks they drafted, the 2 quarterbacks that they drafted last year.
At least those QBs were, 4th and 5th round?
I think 5th and 6th, or
5th and
maybe 2 5th.
I think, I think it was because Shador went 5th, and he went after Dylan Gabriel. So Gabriel must have went 4th.
4th,
yeah.
4th, 5th rounder. Yes, at least it's not, but then you got the elephant in the room with Deshaun Watson, sitting there. I don't know. Look, again, if you think he's the guy, I know people give you grief because you've done it before, but if you really feel like he's the one, you got to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Gabriel was in the 3rd round. I was thinking it was later than that.
I couldn't remember when exactly. That was just a wild sequence of events. We were at like a wedding. We had to go to a wedding that day, so we were sitting at the pool trying to follow it on our phones, what's happening in the draft.
Well,
at
and then
that
we went
time.
to that restaurant that I love down in Volano Grill. And
fantastic.
The guy that owns it is a Browns fan, and we were like, do you know what you just did in the draft? And he's like, we got a quarterback. And I was like, yeah, you also got another quarterback. He's like, what are we doing? I cannot help you there, sir.
Yeah, sorry. So that one was just interesting looking at the betting odds towards the top and how much I think that, there's several wide receivers going in the first round, which I think is interesting. And now 2 quarterbacks, which for a while there's only going to be 1 quarterback, so only 1 running back they have going in the whole first round. But Seattle, they have Seattle taking a wide receiver, the one out of Texas. I always forget, Casey however you say Concepcion.
Concepcion,
I always forget how to say his name. But
Well
so
done,
another
Tom.
wide receiver.
Well, we had a Concepcion up at Boston College. They're not related, though. I checked. Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casey Concepcion, he's really good.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love for Garrett Nussmeier to start rising up.
Get another
and Carson
quarterback
Beck
in
start
there.
rising up, but it doesn't seem to be
His
happening.
pro day was recent, wasn't it? Nussmeier?
Yes.
Earlier in the week?
Yeah.
I wonder how he did.
This is the time of year
hear
where
much.
you'll start seeing teams panic a little bit. Like if they need a quarterback, oh no, let's get up and get one of these quarterbacks. If you start hearing like, oh, people are interested in Nussmeier, and the Jets, for example, are like, oh, we really need a quarterback. Let's do this. So I do think we're going to start hearing rumors of some of those guys moving up a little, or rumors that they may move up a little bit.
I like it. All right, the golden moment awaits on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Short track, short stacks.
Lordy, what a mess.
This Sunday at Martinsville. Powered by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010 XL.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
It's a Helmets and Heels
Bowden Iron Associates.
Friday.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
I was born in Louisiana.
The Legends 90th birthday celebration. Live. Buddy Guy, 90. Saturday, August 22nd, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, and creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Only at Firehouse Subs.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monaghan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Justin Mello, who covers the NFL draft, we had him on just earlier, not earlier today, but earlier in last week. And so he has confirmed that, which a conversation we've had a lot. Ole Miss tight end Daquan Wright has confirmed that he has met with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's one tight end on the list that the Jags have been in talks with this offseason.
Interesting stuff there because, yeah, like we've talked about, they have Britton Strange, they have Quentin Morris, and then we'll see what else. Some breaking news that is, I think, rattling all of us. Tiger Woods was involved in a rollover crash in Jupiter Island. That's where he lives. Earlier this afternoon, it happened around 2 o'clock. There are no details about the cause of the crash or his condition. The county sheriff is expected to meet with reporters at 5 p.m. today. There are some pictures from the scene. According to Adam Schefter's report, I have not seen the pictures, but a photo that he saw said the vehicle was lying on the driver's side. So we had some sad stuff to talk about earlier with Barrett Robbins, and really hoping now that when the sheriff meets with media at 5 p.m. that he's going to be able to tell us that Tiger is okay. Tiger obviously has survived another serious car crash that happened in 2021 when his car rolled several times and ended up trapping him in the car. And then he obviously had to have several surgeries. And he just announced earlier today that he was going to compete in a Champions Tour event upcoming because he really wants to play in the Masters. So like I said, really hoping at 5 o'clock we get some good news when it comes to Tiger Woods and his condition following that car crash.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, geez, that was just shocking just to see that he's in another crash. And, it looks pretty serious. But hopefully he's going to be okay, man. Gee, man, that's a tough one. It's very challenging when, and we don't know the outcome. So, we haven't heard nothing. We haven't heard anything, but it just sounded like it was pretty serious.
Yeah, there are just times in your life where you know exactly where you were when you heard
certain things happen.
Yeah, a certain story. We were literally pulling into the parking lot at a grocery store one time. We had been out of town, and I remember hearing something on the news or on the radio, and it said something about Kobe Bryant, but it went out pretty quickly, and I was like, wait, what? So, of course, as you do, you immediately go to Twitter. And I remember sitting there, I was like, I don't think I can go in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, I'm overcome with emotion at this story with obviously his daughter too, and everything that happened with that helicopter crash. And so I will always remember where I was when we found out Tiger's first car accident. I was in the studio at our old building. And now I won't forget about this car accident, but hopefully the end of this story is better than the end of that Kobe story.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, you do. You remember like Michael Jackson. You remember Whitney Houston. You just remember those things. They're part of your life. They're part of your life growing up.
Yes. Like I said, hopefully at 5 p.m. we get some better
good news.
Yeah. I would not ask Tom this question about what we were literally just talking about as far as the picture of Arvell Reese and the picture of Ruben Bain and how Bain's bend looks so much better than Reese. And so Football Stats Guy tweeted out, this draft redefines position designations. The old way, Ruben Bain, David Bailey, and Arvell Reese would all be defensive end / edge. In the new way of thinking, Bain is a 3-4 defensive end, which of course hand in the dirt and a physical defensive end. Reese is a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's a rover and a wreck shop. And then Bailey is a 4-3 edge who attacks the quarterback. And again, Football Stats Guy had the scheme, fit, and roller key set expectations accordingly. I don't know if he meant to rhyme or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, a 3-4 D end has got to be a very big and physical opposing defender because like a 3 technique in the 4-3, they're getting double teamed a lot, right? Now, the guard and the center are going to double team the nose, and then sometimes the guard or the tight end and the tackle, they double team that 3-4 D end. Think of like a Richard Seymour type. He was one of the best at it. Zach Allen is another guy, just big, beefy, hard to move, can handle double teams, got some wiggle to get to the QB, those kind of guys. I don't know if Bain would be a 3-4 D end. I don't know. I think that's pretty challenging for his size and what I'd want him more in space, and I know he's a bigger guy, so standing him up would be challenging. But a 4-3 D end, like if he was opposite Josh Hines-Allen, I could see that. And Bain, I love the natural bend. I mean that. I see Arvell Reese do it. He reminds me of Harvey, coming out of Florida. He was a tremendous athlete, 6'6", 280. And he was just unbelievable. but he didn't have the bend. All he did was run up the field, and he tried hard, but he never really had that natural bend around the corner. So Reese, with that, maybe he didn't do that a ton at Ohio State. But if he's going to be a 3-4 outside backer, he better know how to rush the passer. Now, he could be a 4-3 Sam. You know what I mean? That kind of thing where sometimes he'd rush, but a lot of times he's playing the run. He's covering the tight end. He's the force on some run plays and that type of thing. So that's really the difference. Like, to me, with Bain, because of the arms, and that's not a total knock, and his size, I'd want him more in space. And if that means standing up or even, look, it's a lot of times on a defense, right? Base is only played like 30%. So if it's a 4-3, a 3-4, it's really only played like 30% of the time.
Yeah.
The other times you're nickel or dime. So it's just your 4 best rushers out there that can still play the run when they have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of like, because you'll see 3-4 outside backers put their hand in the dirt on nickel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because they're the edge and they're going to rush the passer. That's what they're doing. That's their job on nickel. 3-4 base, you'll see those outside backers drop on occasion, right? And they'll run a zone blitz or something like that, or they'll blitz on the outside and the inside guys drop, that kind of thing. So, you do. There is a difference, and you do have to have different skill sets and body builds, athletic abilities, that type of thing to be both.
But you want the best pass rusher regardless of all of that.
Which of that?
Right, but if I'm a 3-4 defense looking for a defensive end, Bain's not my pick.
Yeah, I got you.
I wouldn't pick him.
Well, I wonder if we're starting to categorize them in that way, if we start seeing contracts categorized differently than with different types of defenses and what you're asking, because we've had this conversation recently of Josh Hines-Allen is getting paid like a top sack getter. And so do they start separating that a little bit if it's not? I don't know if you can, because they're going to say I'm an edge rusher.
It depends. So, let's take Myles Garrett. He's a 4-3 D end, and he's a phenomenal defensive end. He plays on the right side most of the time. He's great against the run. He rushes the passer. He is your prototypical 4-3 defensive end. Then you take TJ Watt, who's a prototypical 3-4 outside backer. But guess what he does on passing downs? He puts his hand in the dirt, and he's just the edge rusher. So that's where, it's you got to have certain types for that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you watch Watt, he's in a 9 technique, which means he's out there. He wants space. He doesn't want them to grab him. Even those big guys, you don't want them to grab you. If you got the quicks with your hands and your feet and all that, you want as much space in between you as you can manage.
Makes sense. Gary Smits tweeted out a link to an article on Jacksonville.com and Times-Union as far as the Tiger Woods incident. And according to the Martin County Sheriff's Office, they are actively investigating the incident. A source said it was a 2-car crash with one vehicle rolling over. One person is stable while another declined to be transported to a hospital. Okay. So that seems like it would be excellent news if one person is stable and the other person doesn't even need to go to the hospital.
Right.
So we'll hope, we'll keep tracking it, obviously, but we'll hope that everybody is okay down there in Jupiter, Florida. All right, one segment to go, including the pests of the day. On the other side, it's Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Bowden Iron Associates. Helmets and Heels Friday.
Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be an 8-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Trust me, I know this. I've been dealing with Nimnick forever, and they really are that good. For 3 generations, Nimnick's been the place customers keep coming back to. Customers like me, treating you right, giving the most back to our community, more choices and better prices. It's just the best place to buy cars, and I can promise you that. So who gives you the best experience when you're buying a car? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our two-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
My Gate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any two 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you for honest, professional locksmith service. Use Instant Keys.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care, totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
What does your dream backyard look like? The team at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can design an outdoor kitchen layout custom built to your taste and lifestyle. You dream it, they can build it. At CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living, CSSOutdoor.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Almost time to turn it over to the Frangie Show live from JU. But first, the pest of the day brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. They do a fabulous job taking care of any issues we have with pests at our house. If you have any termite issues, mosquito issues, trust me, contact Terminix. They take care of ViStar Ballpark, where Taylor will be tonight. ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, all of your favorite event venues around town and Everbank Stadium. All right, I'm just going to name the Rays pitcher Ian Seymour last night. He's the pest because he ended up giving up 5 runs and couldn't get anybody out last night as the Rays lost the first game to the Cardinals. So
not a good outing.
Rays bullpen is supposed to be good. That's like one of their strengths typically, but not so much when it comes to yesterday. But you know what? Like Taylor said, it's
a long
early.
season.
That's right.
I know. I try not to get too angry. I was like, it's one game.
It is one game.
You can't go 161-1 if you don't lose one.
Valid. Like I mentioned, Jumbo Shrimp, they begin the season tonight. First pitch, 7:05. Friday night fireworks following the game. And then tomorrow night, 6:35 at ViStar Ballpark. And on Sunday, 2:05 p.m. And it will be Walk-Off Charities Day on Sunday as we say hello to Frank at JU.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Frank, I almost want to make this a lightning round. We have so much to discuss. The farm at Okefenokee, the dinner last night, Paul Skeens yesterday, the Jumbo Shrimp Sunday, Walk-Off Charities Day. You pick where we go.
Well, I can tell you we can take Paul Skeens off the schedule. I mean, again, if we don't have time, we don't have time, Lauren. I mean,
That's true.
The time is what it is. The farm at Okefenokee was fantastic yesterday. We were so honored to be there, and it was it really was. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. So thank you for asking, and we sure appreciate them as a sponsor to our program and certainly on our radio station. I walk-off charities. Thank you for mentioning that. The Jumbo Shrimp are so good to us, Lauren. They have given. We have 77 teams, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's about 1,000 kids, and they have provided tickets. You can't imagine how many they've provided for our kids, and our kids are so excited to start their baseball season by heading out to the Jumbo Shrimp. So thank you for mentioning that. And they're a wonderful operation, and we're so appreciative. We're great. And now we're here at JU and UNF. UNF's playing well, by the way. They're both about the same overall. UNF's 13-12, JU 12-13.
Mm-hmm.
But UNF is off to a 5-1 start in a very good ASUN conference. So it's I love a rumble, man. I don't care what sport it is. The rumble's always cool, and we're excited about it. It starts just in a few hours.
Absolutely. What are y'all getting into today, Frank?
Well, we're certainly going to talk about that. Chris Hayes is going to join us. You know Chris very well, Lauren, and he's going to be here at 4:20, 4:15 or so. As always, Lauren, you know the drill out here. And then Alex Ricker-Gilbert, the AD, will be here at 5:15. So a lot of JU athletics. When we do the Rumble over at UNF on May 8th, we'll do the same thing with the UNF contingent, as always. So we'll talk a lot about that. We will talk a little bit about the first weekend of baseball, or the first couple days of baseball. We're previewing a Sweet 16 tonight as well. So we are loaded up with stuff. And, Lauren, it's a gorgeous – Lauren, are you a baseball fan? Have you decided you're a baseball fan?
I am a baseball fan. Florida baseball taking on Arkansas this weekend.
And your husband where did he go to school? Did he go to school?
He went to University of North Florida.
Okay, so you're a baseball fan.
Yeah.
He was a state champion baseball player.
That's right.
He's a graduate of UNF, so I assume y'all are coming out to watch baseball tonight. I'm just making an assumption here.
That's a good assumption. At some point this weekend, I'm sure we'll make our way over to JU. I don't know if I can get him there tonight because we did watch baseball Tuesday night.
Okay, you may or may not have texted me that earlier. I'm just checking.
Trying to guilt her into this.
Yeah, he is. But I will say the weather today, 1,000 times better than the weather Tuesday night.
Yeah, boy, it was cold. You guys gutted it out. We were cold during the show here, there, but it is a beautiful night tonight, Lauren and Taylor and Tom. We're excited about the JU and UNF getting together in just a bit.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Frank. We'll be listening.
All right, thank you, guys.
Yeah, it is this weekend at JU, and then like he said, the Rumble will be at UNF in May, and yeah, we got to go watch some more baseball, like you're going to do tonight, Tom. We got to do a show outing at one of the Jumbo Shrimp games.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm watching Nancy dance kick some butt on the dance floor. My daughter just got done with her first dance. That was really good.
Nice, way to go, Harley.
Yeah. They're up there all weekend, so solo with the dogs. Actually, my oldest and I, we're going to hit the corner tonight and have a little fun. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm always up for a good time.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
At least till about 9:30, 10.
And I was going to say,
I wish I cut off at 9. Sometimes I should.
10. My cutoff is probably like 11 or midnight, and then Taylor's a little later.
Yeah.
That's all. All right, that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you on Monday, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show live from JU for the River City Hardball Baseball Edition is next.